So welcome back. Honestly, I think this episode, like, it took the take for me for like the most interesting episode. But today we are going to do like last week, and we're going to jump straight into the review. Cause God, I'm so mad. After watching this episode, I'm mad that Kira never went home because she's a nuisance. So now let's start off with what happened. So we had three bottom men. This is like the first time we're having three bottom men, and I was pleasantly shocked. We had Marvin, Christopher, and Moira. Moira. What? How did they pronounce his name? I keep mixing it with like Moira. I think that sounds good, right?
It's more yay.
Moira. Oh my God! See, please. I'm sorry for mispronouncing your name. But anyways, they were the three of them were at the bottom, and they had to send two men home. Now, before you guys can speak, I'm annoyed. Why didn't they send two women home last week? I would have been so happy if Kira had gone home. What did you guys think about the bottom before we start talking about Marvin, oh,
I
Christopher?
agree with you. Like y'all should, they should have did two women because Kira, yeah, uh, no, she should have been gone. And I didn't like how she played that whole like it was her feelings or it just made her feel some type of way when Maya questioned her blackness or whatever. But yet you questioned Quentin.
Yeah.
Like so, yeah. For me, he could have did that curveball last week. But two guys going home is crazy, and I feel like it's a mess. Like,
Because the women do not really have connections. So the women are just left hanging. And I'm like, but now let's start off with Christopher. To be honest, this is the dude I would say was he got done the worst in this episode because imagine being beaten up because of betting guy. And
Christopher is all I can say. Like, he
Yeah.
he really
I don't
did
really like.
basically only just talk about like I understand you want people to get to know you. How do you get, to know someone if you don't tell them about you? But when all you're telling them about is basically like you just want to run down your accolades just to make it like you're just this above and beyond person, that it takes away from the character that you really have. Like, what was there to you? So, and just the way that he was acting like, oh, like, I knew this. I thought Sierra was playing when she said something about the Birkin bag. She might have been a little bit serious,
now
but
Sierra loves to claim that she's playing. Nobody can tell me Sierra was playing because if you were playing, you have to the people's lounge and started talking about that.
yeah.
Nah.
Mhm.
I mean, but there's nothing wrong with liking nice things, but Christopher's not the type. And hold on, I will say this. She likes nice things.
Yeah.
You want to talk about your accomplishments and all the things you've done, the fashion run week and all this other stuff. So you should be able to possibly afford all this. Don't talk big talk if you can't, you know what I'm saying? If you can't walk it. So I don't know. Christopher was a mess to me. So yeah.
I don't feel like the show really gave Christopher an opportunity. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause you really didn't see Chris on too many dates. You know what I'm saying? When he was with the only connection I think that he really had was Unique, and that seemed like and that was during the hold down, and they had a really good conversation. And I kind of see those two connected. But anything outside of that, they really didn't show Chris engaging or having any kind of any personality or enjoying conversation with people. So I feel like they didn't do Chris right. You know what I'm saying? But at the exact same time though, he was running down his accolades like leading with that. You know what I'm saying? I wish they could have showed other parts of him.
Yeah, it's up to him to show his other parts.
Hmm.
Like you can't just
But yeah,
run down your accolades like that. Like what else is there to you? Hey, Mocha. Like, what
Okay,
else?
I'm going to defend him here. So Christopher came in later in the show. About the water around me. Christopher came in later in the show. So he showed very little. And I think the viewers are way too judgmental. Every single conversation that was shown about so far, it was the first conversation. And every single time you want to have a first conversation, as they say, first impressions matter. So he's
Hmm.
trying to create an illusion that will make these ladies feel like, oh, maybe this guy is worth to have a conversation with. Maybe this guy is actually like the, you know, you have to gauge someone based on how they give, like they talk to you in the first instance. So I don't really think it was a bad thing because they only showed us the conversations. That means they never really said it in every other date. Now nobody
Mm.
can tell me the feedback that got this guy sent. It was very obvious because that was what she was complaining about. Oh, I said it as a first part defensive. Yes, I would. Yes, it was over defensive. It's understandable that you get defensive. It's just like you telling the poor man, oh, let's go eat at that restaurant and like, oh, and then tell the guy, the poor person. So we're going to lodge at that hotel. And the person looked at their credit account and like, oh, I definitely do not have that kind of amount. And what they say next, don't worry,
Can't hear nothing she's saying.
or the part that I hear myself, I think everybody, okay, yeah. But the part that really annoyed me was the part when he said, oh, so if you don't get it from me, you're going to get it from another man. That was the part I was like, Chris, that was a very unnecessary statement to me.
I feel like with the whole thing, like maybe Christopher didn't get, the opportunity to have as many connections or dates as possible. But also, again, I feel like it's up to them to make those connections, period. Like, it's not really all on if he got the chance, it's on did he put in the effort? Like, was he trying to make those connections? Was he really looking? Like, what was his real motive and even being there? Because if you are going to, try to pitch yourself like a salesman, then honey, that's not where you need to be. Like, I feel it's almost like Marvin was doing the same thing with him, trying to throw out what he does. Okay, well, we know that, but what else is there to you? Like, you have nothing else. I need to see more.
Absolutely. Hello, good party people. Good to see all of
Hey,
you.
Brandon.
Hello,
What's going
chat.
on, big dog? What's going
Good
on,
to
bro?
see you, Q. Devin, good to see you. No, y'all, listen. So I had to figure this thing out because on StreamYard, you can broadcast it to your page. So I got like my page on with my chat in here. But no, that whole conversation that happened with Christopher and Celine, not Selena Child, but y'all know who I'm talking about. I felt that that conversation was really kind of just hollow, really, because at the end of the day, what I felt was it really wasn't anything there. To be honest with you, like I could tell that she was joking about Birkin bags to a certain degree, right? But I
Mhm.
think it's the communication on how much you jump on that degree. You know what I mean? And I think Christopher was an oddball to me when it was a curveball because I'm like, I'm not seeing any soul in this dude at all. His eyes are sunken almost, like the new Hatbox Ghost in the Haunted Mansion movie. It was just
Oh,
it wasn't no soul to him. It was like he was one of the 99 happy haunts and he became the thousand
I
ghosts.
don't
I don't know. I don't know. That's just my
okay.
take.
I don't
Uh,
think she was joking. I think she loves Birkin bags. I think she's probably got 4 or 5 at the house that other men has bought her, and she letting him know, can you afford a Birkin bag? Okay, like that's what that is.
I mean, but if you throwing out that you was on, the New York Fashion Week and you model and you almost was going to be a doctor, this, that, and a third, then why wouldn't you think a woman's going to ask you if you're able
Those
to
10
afford this?
acres.
Christopher was trying to stay on the show. First off, and one thing about it is when she said something like this, this is what she said to Christopher. She said, "Do you have any insecurities?" He said, "No, I don't have none." You know what I'm saying? I didn't believe that
Yeah,
personally, and
Mm,
throughout the
me
conversation,
either.
he
interesting.
What happened, Q? I don't know. You cut out, Q.
I was about to say because I'm not
But
hearing anything.
but yeah, that was also one thing. You don't have any insecurities?
Yeah, that
Everybody's got
was.
insecurities.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know the words of Kendra G. Name your three biggest insecurities. I overthink a lot. I feel like I have to conquer Rome in a day, and also too,
Mm,
I feel like I don't. No, I'm being real with y'all. I feel like I really don't give myself enough credit for what I've done, and sometimes not giving myself enough credit for what I've
mm,
done negates the fact that somebody's seeing my credit for what I have. So those are my top three insecurities. Now,
Mm.
if you can't at least say one of them, bruh, you last time I checked, Iron Man was a movie through Marvel, bruh. You don't have the suit. Last time I checked, the
Listen, the
suit's
way
not
he was
available.
talking, he might have went and got a suit. Okay, he might have just went and got a suit just because. Now,
I think she can afford her own Birkin bags. That's right.
she definitely can afford her own. I feel like she definitely can afford her own, and she's just kind of wanting to. It's almost like you throwing out something, even though she might not have been for real entirely. She was just to still see where, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm serious, but I'm not that serious because I don't think you can really do it. But I'm gonna throw it out there. I'm
Right.
gonna play with it. Let me
You
play
know
with this
what?
idea really quick.
The fans, the fans in the chat, not this
You're
live broadcast, but
you're sounding a
on
little
Facebook,
hollow,
So we can't hear
really,
you,
really
Alicia.
likes
Solana.
Christopher. Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, Devin. We can't hear Solana. She sounded distant.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, we can't.
Or is it just me, y'all? Like, let me know.
Mhm.
No, no,
No,
you're right.
you're
She does
sounding
sound
you
distant.
sounding low, honey.
I was
But
just gonna say that the fans are really like Christopher a lot. Like his first like two episodes, they really liked his how he looked, and like what he had to offer. I think just after that, I really didn't see him on the camera that much. He really didn't get a lot of more dates or camera time, and I don't know if he
exactly.
came in as a curveball, so it was a little late in the game. But I just don't think his person is here. She's just not here.
no,
I think that he just needs to recognize
he
that.
was the curveball.
And they need to recognize that. I
He
mean,
definitely was the curveball, so that's why I feel like the intent of him staying wasn't really there.
I
Like,
think
Mm.
him and Unique gonna get together in the reunion watch.
Well, I mean, from what
mm,
yes,
I mean, from what Janelle said, that thank God the reunion was taped when it was taped, because it sounded like there was some tea being spilled at the reunion. Sounded like it had some
there's
heat.
always tea. There's always tea. Yeah, always something at the reunion.
Am I audible now?
you're still low, babes.
Still low.
Do you guys want me to scream? I feel like I'm shouting.
Like, it seems like you're far away. Like, do you not have your microphone on?
I I don't have my mic.
Okay, yeah, you can tell you
Yeah,
don't have your
you
mic
got to put
on.
your microphone
You
on.
sound really low. But
By this time in the season, there usually is a lot of romantic connections that you can visibly
Yes,
see on the TV.
Yeah.
agreed.
There
I
is almost nothing.
None.
I can't see anything. I don't see one
I
like connection that I'm like
I I,
they're gonna make it or
I,
they're gonna date.
I don't know. Now y'all know that I am hard pressed for Janelle. Y'all know that, and I'm pressed in more ways than one. But I will say, listen, I'm just getting started. Okay, I'm on my best behavior. Gigi, don't do that to me. Don't. I love you. Don't do that to me. Though. Don't do that to me. Though. But the conversation that Quentin and Janelle had about kids and how she was adopted, I thought that was a real conversation. You know the comment of were your parents black? I could see how that could have came across, but also too when it comes to the adoption, you don't know. I mean, there are white people who adopt, there's Indian people who adopt, so I understood his question, but I like the fact that he did not run away from asking that question. And this week was about doubts, so Janelle's doubts was about wanting to create a family, and Quentin said, "Hey, even though I'm younger, doesn't mean that I don't want to step up." And I thought that was admirable.
Quentin, Quentin,
Yeah.
Quentin told
Mm.
y'all what his relationship with Janelle was. He said, "I know we're gonna have sex. It's no connection there. Only thing they want to do is go ahead and
Listen,
book
that's
the
what most
hotel
of them
and
want.
handle their business. That's the only thing they about. The only
That is,
connection I
you can
see
see.
is one connection that's vividly you can see is Phil and the other girl. It's in it. He went on a date where he brought her the flowers. I think it's a connection right
Aries.
there. Aries. That's a connection right there. You know what I'm saying? It's not as deep as they wanted to show. I
Yeah.
think
Mm,
it get exposed more, but that's the only connection I see for face value.
Well, like I
okay.
was saying, is I felt
Do you
like they should
guys
be
think
making the
that?
connections outside of
Do
the
you think?
show, but then from what Janelle says, is they're not even allowed to do that. So what we're seeing, if that's really the only connection that they're able to have, is what we're basically really seeing, then there's no connections really. I could see Phil and Aries
Here,
possibly connecting, but as far as anybody else, I really don't see it.
one thing I wished that they would show us is when they are calling each other at home and they're having these FaceTime conversations. And I really feel like we should be seeing some of that, Like if you watch like the
Yeah.
Real Housewives of Atlanta or one of these Atlanta shows, they'll show them talking to their friends on FaceTime, and what those conversations are. I feel like we're missing a lot of connections because
Do
all
they
we're seeing
have the
is these,
budget for that?
10-second, 15-second dates.
They
No,
don't
Mhm.
have the budget for that.
congratulations, you are back.
We don't
Sound
even.
is good.
I think the only person.
You know
They
what?
don't
I
have the
can't
budget for
with
that.
you.
Right. They do not have the
I
budget for
can't
that.
Look
with
at
You are
that.
you.
right.
Uh,
They are
Yes.
very bare minimum. They are very bare minimum.
Uh,
But you know what though?
It's
I
that ain't
will.
hard though to go to take a camera to their house.
But you know
They
what
don't
though,
have the
Dev?
budget. I was
But you
even
know,
Go
shocked
ahead.
that they went to Chris's workplace. I was very shocked.
well, I mean, I will say this, right?
really?
I think Devin, you do have a very good point that they could do that, but also too, I know that sometimes people do not like clips. They like more dynamic video. You know what I mean? Now, if we saw them, maybe go into Zoom or StreamYard and do this, in a recording, which you can record on StreamYard and then upload it, that would still be dynamic. And StreamYard is free for the most part, unless you pay 25 bucks a month.
But they
But
can actually record themselves
Well,
and give it to the editing
right,
team. So I don't think there's like too much. But I don't think they really want
yeah,
to
like,
do that. We're just giving our opinions, and they actually do not care. That's just my point. But anyways,
they
my
definitely
point
don't
still
care.
stands. Christopher went home because of Birkin bags. I don't care how anybody wants to twist this whole thing because I'm going to give like my watching it and looking at it from Christopher's point of view. You're having the first conversation with somebody, and the first thing she says is, "Oh, I love Birkin bags." I don't care how anybody wants to twist the whole she was joking and everything. It's like he was actually shocked and he felt like she was a gold digger. I think someone needs to say that. That was exactly what
Of
he
course
felt.
he was shocked.
Yes. And I don't know why people are not giving him the benefit of the doubt because I felt she sounded like a gold digger because obviously he doesn't look like someone that can afford that. And then you're telling him, you are just like, and
Okay, that's just
Sarah
like I
never
said, that
joked.
comes with him also talking about you're talking big about what you do and what you have. So
Mm-hmm.
if somebody comes to you
And
with
the
that
thing is,
energy expecting something, then how are you going to back down? Like, don't know. Like, speak, speak how, like, okay,
But
speak your
you,
pocket size, okay? Speak your bank account limit. If you know that your ass is going to be in a negative when you start talking shit, don't even do it. But if you
yeah,
can back up the words that you're saying, and if somebody comes to you with that same energy that you're talking about, then you know what I'm saying? You're not going to have a problem with
What
it.
doesn't make
It's not
sense
going
to
to catch
me,
you off guard.
it doesn't make sense to me because basically we're saying Christopher went home off of a Birkin bag. Like
Mhm.
his
He
entire journey
did.
on this show was all based off a Birkin bag. No.
No, no, I feel like he was
He
another red. He did not have no personality outside of his
he
accolades.
was
There
how
was
did he have
nothing
had
to
any
him.
personality? There's no way he would have shown any personality. He barely knew any of the ladies. He was meeting them
Correct.
for the first time. And as his
Yes.
comment said, we're just 2 weeks and he wouldn't have known anybody at that time. So
Right.
looking at it from outside, he knew none of the ladies. So even if he had collected their numbers, as he said, and he called them, they were not picking. So it was not his fault that he had no relationship. They just
Correct.
did not know him. And I think people are missing this part of the conversation about
Yes.
what he was saying. Sierra did not give him any benefit of the doubt because she was only thinking in the money part of all. Because
Well,
Right.
all she
okay,
did, she
I'll
went,
agree with
oh,
you because she did also talk about him being a hatfish and was like, "Oh, I thought you was gonna be like." So she did judge him like right off top, and
She really don't got no connections either.
yeah, I was gonna say
No,
she
she
really
don't.
moving
like. I don't feel
by
like she's
thing
there
by
for love, really.
She ain't there for love. She's there because she's a pretty face, and that's it. That's
And
why
that's
she's
what
nah,
it
there.
is.
she
Like,
looks like white chicks. Whenever I see her with that
Did you
wig,
say
I'm
she
Ooh.
sorry,
looks like a
I
white
just
chick?
cannot get it
Yes,
off
exactly
my
what she
head.
said.
Ah,
Now, can I,
No,
now, can,
that
now,
that would be Kira. That would be Kira.
a care definitely that would be kicked.
and I know we will get to that a little bit later, but you know what? I have to say, I love your nephew Tommy's hosting style because he understands that he's a full grown man. Because when they come into the ladies' lounge, nephew, I know you're the host of the show,
That's
but
how
you
we
also
really
got a
before the
soul too.
show.
You see these women and how they look, bro. So when you said I gotta go get up and make love to my wife by myself, you were saying that as a mental coping mechanism for you because you know how those women look. You know it.
Now, he was saying that in
Mm,
reference to Marvin and the
yeah,
stag comment. That's why he said that.
Yeah,
understood.
Mm.
Lord.
no,
That's
I
what
I,
think
that was
I agree with
referencing.
you, Brady.
Oh,
That
I agree with you,
that's
Brady.
that's what that was referencing. He was letting it be known, like, hey,
Yeah.
ain't nobody gonna be watching me do nothing. We are by ourselves in this bedroom.
Starve
Mm.
and
good
learn.
point. Good point.
but let's move on. I think we've wasted too much time on Christopher. It's just so sad that he came out a
Like
curveball.
I said, I feel like he was a curveball, but his intent was to leave. He wasn't really there to find love or like really be matched up with anybody anyway.
He
So
was there
shut
to
up.
Nah,
find love. I feel like he was there to
I
find
don't
love.
feel like they really put him in there for that position. He really truly was just there for a curveball.
I mean, Kat was a curveball
I
too, and
I was thinking about
she's
Cat. Yep.
And and
making more
and, and ca-
noise.
still
right.
feeling
One
love.
thing I
And
will say, and this is bad, but a woman can go a lot further off her looks with a man than a man can with a woman.
that no, that's very true. That is very true. And you know what? I agree with you, Devin and Q, that there are some curveballs that are here to show you what else is available, and there are some curveballs just to show you that maybe you just need to be paying attention a little bit closer. So I think it's both responsibly. But we all know
Mhm.
why Melvin's actually there, though. I'm not going to say because it's an inside joke with all of us who have watched it before. But I'm not going to say the joke. I'm going to try to be on my best behavior today. I'm going to try. I can't make any guarantees, but I'm going to try.
But do you know what
Listen, I'm gonna
actually
say, I told
annoys
y'all about
me?
Marvin. I told y'all about Marvin.
Marvin is a liar. You know, I said this thing last week, and you guys said I was that it was non-negotiable. Did you know that Marvin compromised again in this conversation with Katarina,
Mm.
but he could not compromise for Unique?
How many times have
Well,
I told y'all he is not? He's listen. He's sub, and to find out even more, like what he want, like to find out about the stag thing. I could have said that, but I was leaving. I was just trying to like, nah, maybe he don't go that far. But no, honey, no, 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 Marvin, you are not. You're a fraud. You're a fraud.
well, well,
Well, he found it.
Lord Jesus Christ. Stay tuned. Reviews said Marvin got a raw deal. He was judged for sharing his truth, and the Lay's reaction to Marvin is why most guys lie and say whatever it takes to get to the poom poom. I will agree with that, But in the same token, though, stay tuned reviews. I mean, this is Ready to Love, so they want a little more than that. Like Quinn said, if you know there's a connection there, you can assume that that's going to happen. I just feel that Melvin probably didn't get the right theme date to really show off his gift. You know what I mean? They just need to do that theme date.
No, I'm sorry.
Wow.
If you listen to every single,
All he had to do is leave his business card on the
a
table. Just
lie. I don't agree because if you listen to every single conversation that the girls had, what was their problem with Marvin? He was always compromising. Marvin would state,
the whole
"Oh, I'm
time.
a man of my decision. I stand with this. When I say I want
Right.
this, it's going to happen." But any slight inconvenience, the next thing you say is, "Well, we can talk about this and then we can see how it goes."
True,
You could
true,
talk
true.
about it with every single girl, but you could
Yes,
not talk about it with Unique, who was your primary connection. That was why he left. Because when he said, "Oh, Katerina is my strongest connection," I had to remove my glasses. This is
yeah.
this is not a recommend. I was
That
like,
was a lie.
Yeah, I feel like the essence of the show is not is the essence of the show is just not there. You know, because everybody's just worried about
"Ooh,
staying on the show. If you go
Read.
back
She
and
said
watch,
Katerina,
the
if you go back,
read right
don't come
there.
for my
All
girl."
right. So, all
Huh?
right. Reading the comments, she said Cat needs better wigs,
Ooh,
respectively.
oh, hold on now.
Nah,
Whoa, whoa,
Yeah,
whoa,
I
whoa,
saw
whoa.
that.
Marvin,
listen,
compared to Unique,
listen. I was
she's
listen,
better.
baby. She did. She was cute, but honey, that wig was not wigging, honey. She needed to pluck it a little bit more. Need to get a little bit of color right there. We need to fill
Okay.
this in,
You
baby.
need to get it
So so
pre-plucked.
so so what you're saying is that her hair shouldn't have been tested as rings. Is that what you're saying?
Mm.
Well, if they would step their budget up, they would have a wig stylist on set
She did
making them
like
Um,
custom wigs.
she did
If they
like
could
she
I
get
was
don't
their
putting
know,
that
budget
wig.
but
together.
but if she for her to be who she is and have the beauty bar that she does and have the money that she has, baby, you should be able to afford your own wigs. Love Me Hair has some bomb ass wigs. You better, hey,
But some people are just bad at the wig game. That's why I respect myself. Before I cut my hair, I was a braids girl. I don't trust
mhm.
myself with wigs because it just sometimes feels like bad. So I don't really.
Listen, I have dreads all natural, but if I want to switch up, I'll switch up. Sometimes I might put on, you know what I'm saying? It's been a long time since I've done that. But if I want to switch it up, I'm gonna switch it up just because,
I mean,
I
there
like
is
doing
nothing.
stuff like that.
I
But
mean, there
you
is
just gotta
nothing
know how to
wrong.
wear it.
Right. I mean, there is nothing wrong with curves and an afro and a smile. Amen. Praise him. Hallelujah.
Mhm.
But you notice
Just,
that
just
we haven't really seen a girl on Ready to Love with curves and an afro, though, right?
yeah, that's true. That is true, brother. That's very true.
Yeah.
Yes.
They want the girls with the wigs and the weaves coming all the way down. Like they don't want the girls with the short natural. I don't think I've ever seen
But
one
that's
girl
what
come on there
happens
with
in
a
every
Sierra
natural
reality
started out
TV.
like
hairstyle.
that. Sierra was natural, short haircut, cute. And now
And then
you
she
see
started
she just
wearing
wearing
the
a
Eventually,
wig.
she
white
got
cheeked wig.
Like, why? Like, why can't can we start seeing that?
Because
Maybe you guys will find love better if you are actually your authentic self. Like, let me see what you
yeah.
look like in the nighttime when all the cameras are off and no
That's
one's
right.
looking. Like, you know what
That's
I'm
right.
saying?
That's right.
Let me
Yeah.
see the real you because this representative that you're showing, that's not who I'm going to fall in love with because I can
Right.
fall in love with looks all day long. But if the personality's not there, or if after the camera's cut and you take off the makeup, the wig, or whatever the case may be, you're somebody else, how's this going to work? We're going to start clashing.
Yeah,
You're
well,
going
Right.
to start feeling like somebody,
mm,
the next thing you know, it's, oh, well, you lied or you was this at first and now you're this. Like, no, it's unnecessary drama. Show
Yeah.
me your true self.
Absolutely.
Stop all this, the fakeness. Maybe you guys could find love better and actually have authentic
So
and
relationships and
I also think
connections.
Marvin was also lying when he said he was going like he could be one man, one woman. Because I know that it's a command dom, and I'm like, if you work as a dom, you are actually I don't know what arrangement he wants to have with his wife, because when Lee was questioning him, I'm sure he was not listening to what she was saying, because she asked a question that meant, once you get married, are you going to only be with your wife? But his
Right.
job is being a dom. So how does that reconcile? I was like, is it that he did not get the question, or it was just being obtuse on purpose? And yes, Break 14, he backpedaled a lot. And that was actually starting to irritate
Yeah,
me, especially in this episode.
I mean, here's the thing, right? I mean, it's one thing to compromise, but it's not. But it's another thing to not be absolute, right? I cannot with you.
right.
I cannot with you,
This
V.
comment,
I cannot. Lord help. Lord help.
I can't.
But
You know what? And I thought that too, and I was like, man,
listen.
maybe it's
But
just me, but oh,
but but
that's
but no, but
crazy.
no, I but no, I honestly feel that it's there's between compromising and just trying to do anything and say anything to just get the person. Like for example, my career, I probably will go to Atlanta because it's Black Hollywood. But also too, if my wife is in another state, then I will compromise as long as I can make it work with her in my career. So women do want you to be absolute on what you want, but they want to see where you are willing to be naturally compromising.
But he
That's
said
what that
he
is.
doesn't compromise.
I
That's what you're
know,
not
I
getting.
know, I know.
So,
Listen, he's a walking contradiction. And when I said what I said from the very beginning, when he opened his mouth and said what he said, I was like, I'm calling bull. Listen, he backpedaled not once, not twice, but over 4 or 5 times that I can count.
Right.
Every time one of the women was like not willing to basically compromise with what he was doing or be a part of that, he wanted to backpedal and, basically conform to whatever it was that they want.
Correct.
He's willing to say anything to make them feel a certain way about him. And as a Dom, that's definitely not what you do.
Right.
That's showing your submission. That's showing that you're willing to basically conform or just do whatever is being told or said, not the other way around.
Right.
And the
You're
more
exactly
that it
right.
comes out and it shows and you say what you like, it shows one that I feel with Marvin, honestly, he truly does not fully know himself. He's coming into that. Like
Mm,
he knows some things that he does like and he's learning it, but this is his time of like sharing it, and the only way that he can share it and feel accepted is by putting the Dom label on it. Like I do this because
mm.
I'm this way. You know what I'm saying? When that's really not the case. Like,
Okay, I mean, I can definitely see what you're saying. So, like, let's just say it's the first day of school and everybody has to give a fun fact. You give the funnest fact about you that makes you the most interesting, and you try to ride off of that for as long as you can. Very well said, Gigi. Stay tuned. Review said that the show rather would be 10 times better if they got rid of the elimination process. I agree and disagree with you because I agree for the fact of that yes, in order to know that you have a connection, you have to invest in a connection. But also, too, this is about ready to love, and the producers need to have storylines, and not to mention, too, you need to be able to have circumstances that make you want to be serious about the process. So I agree and disagree with you.
I
Stay tuned for reviews on
definitely
that.
agree with that. Take away that elimination process, okay? Let everybody stay on that show the entire time, okay? And who the people that make a connection, you will see that naturally happening because they have time to develop those relationships. If you're eliminating people left and right and their person that they were connecting with is now gone based off somebody saying that person's my bottom, that person's my bottom, then of course they're not going to be connections out here, you know, like this show has to do a revamp. It's now getting really trash TV-ish, very much
Well,
well,
trash TV.
I feel like with that also, like it also comes to them not being able to have connections or go on dates outside of the show. If you're not
right.
Correct.
staying in a house together and it's not going to be
Yes.
where it's a unit like that, and you guys are all going to your respective residence at the end of the filming and throughout the week, you're only really filming twice out the week, and the rest of the week you're living your regular life. You need to be able to make those connections outside of there. So I feel like that needs to be done.
But
If you're
nobody's
like,
calling anybody, as his comment said. I had like two ladies complain, like three people
yeah,
actually have complained about nobody's calling them. So even if they're allowed to date outside, would that work?
well, that's where you go with the elimination, because if nobody's calling you, then honey, that means you're not one of the ones that are
Right.
in the running.
No, but Herbert was not calling any of his connections. So how are we going to use that to base? Chris was not calling Jessica, and she's at the top of his connections. So it's like
Yeah.
it's almost like they come on camera, they act something off camera, they're like, oh, it's just like a job. They move on.
Yeah, because they're getting paid for it, so it basically was like a job to them.
How much are they paying them? It's not. I don't think it's up to
Janelle
twenty-eight
said it
thousand.
wasn't much.
Yeah,
They
it's
make
not up to
about
twenty
five
eight
hundred
thousand.
dollars an episode.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I do not expect that they're making anything. And honestly,
Wow.
Five
what it
hundred
is right
dollars an
now with
episode.
the writers being on strike, they're trying to make reality TV turn into something that it really is not, and they're failing miserably. Like,
Honestly, to tell you the truth, like if you and I know we keep saying they don't have the budget for stuff, but y'all, this is the Oprah Winfrey Network, and so I'm going to teach y'all a lesson about social capital. If you are Will Packer and you're on the Oprah Winfrey Network, you could go to Hilton or Marriott and say, "Hey, listen, got this reality show called Ready to Love. Can we stay at a very nice Marriott? Put the whole cast in there." And then,
Yes.
you have commercials sponsored by Marriott, especially if you
Yes.
say at Embassy Suites because they got click to order breakfast. Like,
mhm.
use your social capital for what you got,
but they
people.
do not have the clout anymore. That's what people are not
Ready
noticing.
to Love season three. Ready to Love season three, The Last Resort. They were all on a resort together because of COVID,
Yes,
yes, but
that
it
was when
worked.
Ready to
It worked
Love
so
was Ready to
well.
Love.
Now it's
Right
Ready to Lust.
now it's
Why?
now it's ready to
Okay.
be here just because we
Hey,
here.
I think they should keep the show exactly how it is. But what they need to do is change out the people that they're picking to date. On the first couple, Ready to Love, you had people actually there looking for love. You know what I'm saying?
You
Now
guys are gonna go outside
people,
with me really quickly. I have to step out. Sorry.
now
All
people see
good.
the advantage of being on Ready to Love. You make you a following. Your Instagram gets a little bigger. You have some traction. You know what I'm saying? But before all that was really there, people actually came to the show looking for love, looking for change.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the the basics of the show, if you keep it the same and you keep people who are really there looking for love, I feel like it'll be more interesting. Like a man was saying, it's becoming more trash TV now. Tommy blew me on this episode because he was being messy. When them girls was rolling their eyes, Tommy actually gave that some attention. You know what I mean? To create that narrative of, you know what I'm saying, some drama on the show. I've never seen
Oh,
this
yeah.
drama on Ready to Love. You know what I'm saying? It's becoming very, it's not what I want to watch Ready to Love for. I'm
Right.
really a Ready to Love fan, and it's in it for me. When I watch Ready to Love, I love seeing people make genuine connection. I love people talk about dating and how they're dating and what dating looks like. You know what I'm saying? People
Right.
actually look at Ready to Love. You can use it as a tool almost, but now, man, it's just becoming, like you said, trash TV.
And to your point, that conversation was a real conversation when Janelle said to Kira that, you didn't have no right to say that Quinn, wants to date white women.
Can we
And
not jump the gun?
what that was an interesting time in the ladies' lounge. I'll just say
Yeah.
Yeah,
that.
but
So let's get back to the review so that we can just like hurry up to that part because I have a lot to
Yes.
say.
Yeah, because yeah, we need to
So
talk about that.
we're done with Marvin because obviously everybody knows why he left. We know nothing about him except the fact that he's a dumb and an erotic person. What was it? So now, what actually shocked me was when Jessica revealed that he was a stag. I was like, okay, that sealed his fate. Because I know that if Jessica had not revealed that, he probably had stayed. There's nothing anybody can tell me. There's nothing
So,
anywhere.
so you don't feel like he told her that?
I don't know. Like I sent him a DM. He has not responded because we chat like often. So I'll wait and see.
Hold on. You know what? Never mind. I was gonna say something. I was gonna say something. Never mind. Never mind.
But let's talk about Chris and Jessica.
Matter of fact,
I
okay,
think
Slana,
Jessica,
Slana, I'm a message you later. We're gonna talk about something.
I think Jessica, she doesn't know how to conversate with people because Chris was making a very simple point. But I love the fact that they showed up at his workplace. At least we know that he's
Absolutely. Shout
working
out
and
to
not
that.
broke.
Shout out to that.
So Chris said, I want you to be, I'm paraphrasing what he said. I want you to be soft spoken to me, and because I'll be soft spoken to you. I don't understand how she took that as a problem because I'm like, you can be very assertive with every other person, but I've noticed that when two of you are calm and having the conversation, it's quite easy for you to get your
Right.
point across. So I don't understand why she was like, oh, does he want me to be less assertive? I never knew that to be assertive, you must be rah, 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 and be shouting and all those kind of things.
Right.
This is the first time I found out. Like, I was very shocked.
I think when that happened, I was actually very proud of him for communicating that because a lot of times it really is about tone. He wasn't saying that I don't like you. It was just saying, can we figure out our tone? Because if
Mhm.
I'm coming to you in a soft tone, you're coming to me in a hard tone, that could be a misinterpretation, and then we're both lost in the sauce. I thought that was very mature because women do always say, can you let me know how I'm speaking to you? And he just did his assignment.
Yeah, I do agree that Chris doesn't like Jessica. I will say that. I don't feel like he really likes her. I feel like he's more into Aries, but I do respect him for communicating that. And I don't understand really what the problem was with saying that. You're a mature woman. You should want and should know by now that your tone and how you come at a man can really set the tone of how the conversation is going to go, as well as even if I'm gonna tell you, you can be in a full blown argument and your tone can diffuse everything,
Yes, it
or
can.
it can make it worse. And that's on both parts. So for him to communicate that and say, "Hey, if I'm like this, I would ask that it be this way." I don't understand why it couldn't have been accepted and actually be something like, "Hey, I, if I like you, I'm trying to learn you. Take that
Yep,
as a lesson.
that's
You're
it.
learning this man. He's telling you something he likes and dislikes. This is the conversation that you're supposed to have. Why are you upset about it or trying to find an issue in his response?"
And not to mention, too, Tommy's assignment was to talk about doubts. Okay, well, if you're coming to me with an assignment about doubts, I'm gonna also have some doubts too. I'm gonna just match the assignment and get this damn A. Like for real.
Hmm? And as far as the prior confrontation, I don't think it was a confrontation. It was the um, impromptu class that they had when they were role playing. The energy that she
He
gave
was
off just
scared
with the
for his
role playing,
life.
it was like a bit much with the way, like, she just went straight to a rah rah situation when, you know what I'm saying? Like, is that really how it's going to be? So I feel like he was judging it off that. And he was just basically letting it be known how, what he expects or how he wants things. It's okay. In a relationship, it's communication.
Right.
Your partner's supposed to know what you like and you're supposed to know what they like. And you're
Mhm.
supposed to learn each other, figure it out in between time. Yes, you are two individuals, but if y'all are trying to come together, y'all are gonna have to figure it out. And that's a
Right.
part of it. So yeah, she just threw me off that one. Like I just couldn't understand her position on feeling that he was saying something wrong or coming at her in a negative way.
Right.
So
V, I would disagree with that. Take on he didn't like her walking him around at the hoedown. There was a purpose to that. He was going to go to get an award, and so Jessica felt that it was only fair. And I feel like I would have done the same thing for a young lady. If I was on the show, that hey, she's about to go, guys, just let's make sure that we, cover each other. I think that was the right thing to do. And Chris said, I don't even want to leave because I do feel something with Jessica. And I said on the last review that was a wifey thing because she even said, text me when you get home. So I disagree with that. I mean, of course, we only know what we can see because that hold down probably lasted 2 or 3 hours. But I think that was genuine.
Yeah, I feel like it was genuine, but the impromptu class, the the whole interaction with that, I felt like that's where it kind of like rubbed him wrong because he seemed almost like if there was a confrontation between the two, how things would go. And he
I
was
think
just like, hey,
people
I
are
don't.
not also seeing it from the cultural aspect. So Chris is from the Igbo tribe in
Mhm.
Nigeria, and from my tribe, they sort of like give how do I put it, the older people, they sort of give reverence to the men. So in their culture, because they're like Igbo tribes with different cultures. So depending on these states, I'm trying to think. It's definitely that it came from the more patriarchal one. So it can be quite patriarchal in the sense that the woman is supposed to be soft spoken. We don't really like encourage fighting between like couples. The man is supposed to
Actually, I agree.
provide. The man is supposed to cater, do everything. Like in our culture, basically, the woman is just if she has money, it's her money. The husband's money, it's her money too. So he's not used to that. And from the way he speaks, it's quite obvious that he was trained with someone with the same culture that we were trained. Not me though, but
Mm.
like the older people. So seeing it, I could actually understand it like culturally because it's quite like a norm over here that the woman should be soft spoken and the man should also be soft spoken and just like
Yeah. I
Jessica,
can I can definitely see that because I've been told some things about the evil tribe because, my
hey
husband's actually Nigerian. But yeah, so he,
yeah,
lets me know like a lot. And actually he saw Christopher and said something about how they are. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I guess. But still, I don't feel like there was anything wrong with what he said. Like
honestly.
you just can't tell me there was something wrong with what he said. He was I'm sorry. Do we not want men now? Like what is the whole because a man
Exactly.
can conversate. Like men know how to
Exactly.
conversate. They know how to tell you what they want respectfully.
Yep.
You know what
You
I'm
can.
saying? But if you don't respect yourself or you know what I'm saying, you're having conflicting interests between yourself, then you're going to take conflict with anything that this man says because one,
Exactly.
you're just not ready for that type of man. I don't
You
know.
can. Yeah, you can definitely be quiet but carry a big stick. As I often say, listen, my Arkansas side is on standby, ready and available. It's on standby, ready and available for whoever comes from me and the people I love. But in the same token, if I always show that Arkansas side, how am I going to get through in the relationship? I mean, hell, that's what volcanoes are for. Volcanoes are in active places because the environment is set for an explosion. If your life is already an explosion, why am I going to add lava to your disaster? Where they do that at? Really?
Hmm.
So no. You can be quiet. You can be bold and execute responsibly, but that doesn't mean you don't have that other side. So
Jessica, a good woman. She just like accountability, and I can say that in two things. During the ladies' lounge, she sat here and said, nothing's wrong with me. I'm perfect. You know what I'm saying? For her even to say something like that, even though she was joking, I think in her head that she think there's nothing wrong with her. And it's everything wrong with everybody. And even during the improv thing, when they had the conversation, the first thing that she was saying, she was saying like it's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault.
Mhm.
Then when he brought to her attention, like she was like, well, you don't communicate. She told him that he doesn't communicate with her. And he looking at her like, huh? You don't communicate with me. And then she was like,
Right.
okay, you have a point. You know what I'm saying? So in her mind, I think that she think that she's right all the time. There's nothing wrong with Jessica. This is Jessica's world. I'm perfectly fine with everything, and everything I do is right. That's what I feel about Jessica.
Yeah, like I said, you can't. Don't sit there. I just, oof, so many thoughts. Just never mind. Just so many. Because I just don't understand how you can really say or have an expectation from a man, but when you get it, you don't know what to do with it.
Right.
You take it as something disrespectful.
I
Like,
don't think I don't think she took it as something disrespectful. I think she felt called out, and most likely this is the first time someone is telling her that she's too hyper, she's too like thoughtful. Because honestly, if she's talking with her friends, people are used to that. And now she's meeting someone for the like very first instance, and they're telling you that, oh, you come off too strong, you can talk softly. So her feminine side was attacked because she felt like, oh, am I not feminine enough for him? And that was why she got up like defensive. I don't even think she took the advice because at that point she was too defensive to see his point.
She was,
right,
No,
but
absolutely.
Chris really handled that situation well.
yeah,
He really did. And I think his tone in talking to her, you know what I'm saying, really, I think it opened her up. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he handled that well. If he would have sat there and barked at her, she wouldn't have been as receptive. But the tone he set while talking to her was good. You know what I'm saying? I really respect him for how he handled that situation. Because a lot of times when you're in a situation like that and in communication and you want somebody to understand where you're coming from, you gotta come at them how you want to be talked to. So I really respect how he did that with her.
But also too, and hang on, y'all. Let me see if I can come on camera for this. Okay, hey everybody. Listen, so I'm gonna just say this right now. If you have never had a person be responsible before, if you never had a person who knew how to communicate before, or if you just never have a person to give a care about you, then just say that ish, okay? My God, because some of y'all holding yourself back. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, I had to come on camera for that because I'm just like, if you have never had a man speak to you about what they need in a relationship, if you haven't had somebody to invest in you before, and you've never had the space to create something because nobody had the mindset to want to create something because they have purpose for you in their life, then just say that ish. Okay, love you. I'm going back off
true, true. Listen, true.
Sorry.
Okay, true.
Yeah, but she's the one who asked. If we're looking at it, sometimes we ask, not expecting the answers we get.
Not from
So
someplace classy like Chili's. Stop. Get it. Stop it. Stop it.
I,
this is
I, well, I mean, now, Chris. Now, if we're going to be real, they got a 3 for $10 at Chili's. But you know what? The real tea right now is go to Applebee's, get you some all-you-can-eat wings for 12.99 and some $5 drinks. That's where I was last night. So, listen, if you're going to go somewhere, make sure you go to a place where everybody gets something out of it. You understand? Listen.
But
maybe you can
but
hire that
listen, Jessica's the one that
chef.
popped up on him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, she brought the
yeah,
combo to Chris, if I can remember clearly. So Chris answered, but she did not like his answer. Sometimes we ask questions and we set ourselves up. So
this is
basically, that's what
funny.
happened. But now let's move on to Aries and Phil. I will still stand on my point that Aries is not looking for love. She's looking for a father for her kids. No, nobody's going to change my mind. I don't care
Wow.
what anybody's going to say. She's not there for love.
I can't disagree with you.
Ah,
Like
please.
I I was not trying to say it, and I listen. Aries is beautiful, and
She
I feel
is.
like she definitely could find a really, really, really good man
Mhm.
and father for her children. But I feel like this might not be where they're at. I mean, but Phil actually, I feel like could be a good candidate. Like, I do feel like there could be a connection between her and Phil, and they're both a little bit older, so maybe when you get to a certain age, you say fuck the games, okay? Like, listen, do you have this, this, this? Are you this, this, this?
Thank you.
You know what I'm
Everybody's
saying? And
acting
then
brand new.
I wish it was that easy. When she said that she had 2 divorces, I was like, ooh.
yeah, when she said that, I was like, damn,
I was like,
wait a
ooh.
minute.
I was
We
like,
knew about. I thought I
what's
knew
really
about one, but
behind you?
two.
What's really going on with you? I said 2 divorces. Ooh. But he was like, shoot, I've been divorced too. So I'm like, okay, well, he got kids, she got kids. On paper, it looked good.
Right.
On paper.
And you
But
know, and you know what? To y'all point, I think that in this process, I think some people may think that okay, you should be
And I
ready
don't
to
think his
love.
name was
So,
Jeffrey.
hmm?
The comments said we saw Jeffrey up. I don't think his name was Jeffrey.
Oh,
see, my
but
point is she's there for a father. She's looking for a father because every single conversation she has with every single guy, I get it that you need to talk about your kids, but she's always asking about can you be a father of my kids? And I think
right.
as an afterthought, she would not say, oh, are you ready for a relationship? I caught that especially in this conversation because she
Well,
talked about family, 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 and then probably towards the ending she asked him, oh, are you ready to be in a
sure.
relationship? And I'm like,
And and
shouldn't that
and
be the first thing?
and to your point, I think some people may think, okay, ready to love is the final interview process when really you just put it in your application. Because I did see something there, but I feel like at the end of the day, this is a candidate type of conversation, not a finalist conversation. You know what I mean? And I will say this. I think also too with Aries, I'm not gonna rag on her too much because at least she is caring about her kids. There's some moms and dads that don't care about their kids at all. So I mean, not to rag on her too much because she recognizes that life is bigger than her. But also too, she needs to feel comfortable with him first. So I see both sides of it.
I mean, people date for different reasons. You know,
Yeah,
Yeah.
every
absolutely.
different reasons. She might lead with that right there, letting you know, hey, this is my reason for dating. This is my reason for. Women do it all the time. Guys do it too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times
Right.
where you in life, you want somebody to match that. You know what I mean? And what's more important to you? Her kids. Even if she's looking for somebody to take care of her kids, she's leading with that. Look here, I'm coming with these
Mm-hmm.
package. This is what I'm coming with. You know what I mean? You gonna deal with it, you gonna not. She not. She
Stay
don't look.
tuned. I can't with you.
She don't look at Chris like. What's the other guy? She don't look at Chris like that.
She looked at Chris like a son.
Yeah, she look at him like a
Listen,
little.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Chris is more like a child to her. That's not a connection. No, because the way when he was, and I just feel the way you.
Lord help. Do y'all want men to show emotion or not?
No,
Like, Lord
listen, first off,
Hey,
the
Jesus.
fake,
Chris can't
listen,
even handle a
emotion is
2 year.
fine, but that fake shit right there, no. And then the way she pat his hand, though,
Yeah,
she didn't
that's
come in to give him no hug.
a hug
She
and
didn't
line.
try to give him an embrace. She just pat his hand like, it's okay, baby.
So
Like that was her son that came in and just had his first heartbreak. And
yeah,
all she could do was like, it's okay, baby. Like, no.
he can't even.
Christopher, she's looking at you like you finna eat up all her baby Cocoa Puffs.
Ah,
Like,
Well,
that's
well,
not
well,
work.
well, well, I mean, Cocoa Puffs are for kids. I mean, you know, Aries,
Listen, I
Aries
love
has,
Cocoa Puffs though.
look,
I ain't
look,
gonna lie.
look, Aries has chocolate cake. Cake is for adults. Okay.
mm,
It
And
is.
y'all can read
mm.
between the lines. Okay. The
But
cake is
Christopher
cakey.
looks like he
Okay.
still likes to eat food in the bed. Get crumbs and shit in it. No.
Well, I mean, you can eat cinnamon rolls in the bed and they got cream cheese icing. Y'all can
Listen,
read
it all
between the
depends on
lines.
what kind of cinnamon rolls they are, okay? If, if they don't
Mm.
require a plate, then you're fine.
This, by the way, low key hashtag. This panel has been brought to you by hashtag Cinnabon. Okay, listen.
It sounds like a
Don't
Marvin
make no damn
conversation.
sense.
Sound like a Marvin.
Next. Yeah,
Marvin
but
like
no, I don't. I want Aries and Phil. Like I feel like they could have some type of connection just because they might be on that. Listen here, I like you. I want you. Now we're either gonna do this easy way or the hard way. Like I feel like just go ahead and do it. You know what I'm saying? It's at that point.
I don't see
But
any connection. I'm sorry. They
you,
are just two people that are within the same age bracket, and they're like, okay, you're handsome, okay, you're beautiful, we will look good together. You might see where it goes.
that might be. Listen, that might be why she's
Maybe the
been
way they
divorced
are
twice. That
editing
is
it
her.
into
That's
the
her way of going.
show, maybe the way they are editing it, but I just don't see anything there. It's just like a convenient, like thing. Just
Right.
like Janelle, both of them are actually looking for men that are within their age range, that is a teeny little bit interested in them. And then the next thing she will talk about is, oh, I have kids. Nah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
Right.
don't know. I just feel like when
They'll
it
most
comes
likely
to
make it to
Aries,
the
like she
end,
wants.
but they will never make it. Oh, God. Take it back.
I feel like Aries and feel like they can make something just because they do kind of have some similar qualities. Like they kind of want the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
thing. And I
Yeah.
feel like with them being able to have maybe a connection outside because they did say they talked a lot for hours on the phone. So, they have
Right.
an outside
I talked
connection.
long for hours on the phone with my friend. So,
Well,
yeah.
good damn. Just reduce
Yeah,
it, why don't you?
you're right. You're right.
So, that's my
Listen,
honest
I don't.
views.
Yeah, no.
But
Honestly, I don't have anybody that I. Well, I do have someone that I can talk to for hours if I was the type to talk on the phone like that. But
I mean,
mm, at
on the
some
show,
point, like I'd rather just be face to face. Like let's just talk face to face. Like I don't know.
Aries is the most solid one. I'm telling you,
She
Aries is
is.
one
But
of the
she
most
gives
calm.
the vibes of I'm a mother. Like the first time I saw her was I just saw mother, 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 mother all around her. She doesn't give me the vibe of a single woman that's going out there to date. She dresses like she's just going to cook. She's like, okay, scratch that. But
Me and Mocha, I cannot with y'all. I cannot with y'all.
Whoa, Mocha. Oh, okay. You know what he does? He does.
I,
He doesn't
I'm
give like I'm sorry, Q does not give me I want to be your man. Q does
Q
not
just
give
wants to have
me
sex. It's
like
honey.
yeah, he
He just
gives
wants to
me
touch
like
some
and it's
flesh.
whack. Like it's probably not like never mind. I'm not even finna judge. I don't care. Like whatever. It's just yeah. It just I don't know.
It's the judgment for me.
I don't know. I don't know.
Mhm, mhm,
Nah.
mhm,
I don't.
mhm,
damn,
mhm,
this comments going
I
crazy.
love Aries. I love her. But if
mhm.
she really wants to get into the dating scene, first thing she needs to do is to change her fashion because she comes off older. I'm sure
Oh.
Janelle and her are within the same age range. So it's like when you see her, she looks more of like a grandmom compared to Janelle. Beautiful lady, but she's not keeping me.
Think about it. That's very appreciative
No.
about Aries. I like that.
Listen, it is not me this time, guys. Okay, I've been on my best behavior, so
I've been on good behavior too. I have.
oh my god.
Nah, but
Mm,
for real.
Oh God.
she looks like she's looking to be a stay-at-home mom.
She does seem like that because every time she talks about her kids, she doesn't talk about someone that wants to have fun. She doesn't talk like a mom that goes out there. So if you get married, are you going to be my kids, 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 kids? At that age, you are supposed to be now be interested in your sexual relationship with your husband. going out, going on trips. Like that's what I'm supposed to be getting. So we are supposed to be more bubbly, fun. Like all the 40-year-old women I've met, to be honest, they are very, very bubbly. All they talk about is maybe just anyways, everybody for themselves. But I just don't get the vibe that if I had a 40-year-old plus uncle, I would not introduce them to Aries because she's boring.
You think
Not you want to introduce her to the uncle though.
Just
Like
saying.
that's not even what you want, especially if you don't want kids.
Well, I mean, listen. It looks like Mocha is wanting to know if there is some hazelnut nephew in the mist from Q from that comment there. Yes, indeed.
Nah, I'm
Mm-hmm.
Q's hater number one. Until I
Listen,
die.
I, listen.
it,
Uh
see
huh.
what had happened was,
I
Uh
totally
huh.
see,
understand. That's why I
yeah,
felt
I
like
don't, you know
she
what?
should
I don't even
not.
understand the question. I don't even understand the question.
Mm
That's why,
hmm.
Mm-mm.
this
Mm
is why I feel like she should not be
hmm. Mm
leading conversations with my son, my children, my children, my children. My children. Like, come on, don't you have a personality?
hmm. I can't.
Mocha, calm down.
You know what? Okay, so listen, I try to be respectful of the joke, but I'm just going to have to do it. So next season is going to be Ready to Love BDSM edition, and then Mocha Mima Media is going to be on Ready to Love Family Affair edition right after the BDSM edition on. Okay, so BDSM edition, Family Affair after edition. Okay, that's what's going to happen. Okay, all right, just
But
man.
seriously, let's move to cooling things.
I'm sorry.
Listen, let's get to it. Let's get to it because I'm
The way I do not like this dude, I need some prayers. Because every time he gets on my screen, I just sigh. Because he's selling what he doesn't have. It's
Go
mm,
ahead.
simple.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
He's a liar, he's pretending, he's not here for anything.
no.
What do you guys think?
Look at him. He looked like mm-mm. He just looks like he's about to tell a lie. Like he just looks like he lies all the time.
Man, when he came in, I was like, why are your legs thin? Do you avoid leg days? I thought you were like you own a gym or something. But anyways, I understand. Some people just like I'm trying not to.
Listen, Quentin is not there for love, and he only wants to get with Janelle because she's thick. She's beautiful, but she's
I'm
thick.
sorry. What's fine? Is it like body wise? Because it's definitely not facial.
Listen, he listen. He looks good for how he looks good for who he looks good for.
So that's those ladies' take. I will say from a 33-year-old point of view, it
He's
takes a
old.
lot it takes a lot to be real on camera. And I would like to believe that he didn't just say those things to say those things. Um, okay. First of all, lay off of the too heavy. Lay off of the too heavy. Okay, listen. All right, she's not too heavy for me. Okay, we're just
I
gonna
was gonna
leave
say,
that
wait a
there.
second. I know that's Braylon's woman, yeah, but now
Listen.
can you get the tail off
And,
the
and what
phone?
and what and whatever is too heavy, listen. Whatever I can do is what I can do. Wherever God can allow me to cover me for what I can't do is that. Okay, so listen, I'm a sapiosexual, and if I can carry her heavy there, everything else will be light. Okay, okay. Listen, just hey, you know what? We're not gonna do this to me because there are other people in the chat acting a fool. I've been on my best behavior today. Been on my best behavior. I made a new
Yeah,
edition of Ray Love called Family Affair. I've been cool. I've been cool
this
today.
is the new 29-year-old Braylon. This is
But to
the
be honest, do you think that she's really bothered about her age? I think she's using that age as a cop out.
She may, cause she looks 30 for real. I'm not even trying to front.
I don't think so because every single time she talks about attraction with Quentin, she's like, "Oh, but my number one is Herbert." She makes sure she says that statement.
Yeah, I'm seeing it more for Quinn than Herbert, honestly.
Yeah, Quentin is the one putting all the energy. Herbert is just existing. And I do not know what this lady see in him. But there's something about Quentin. There's just something like Ray 14. There's just something about Quentin. There's just something about him. That fake.
Quentin's spending the energies because he wants to have sex. I don't feel like he's really wanting to have a real relationship with Janelle or even Lee.
At
Like,
all.
honestly,
He's
I don't
definitely
see it.
stringing Lee up.
Yeah,
He
he's
cannot.
not, no. And
But
honestly, I don't see a connection that she's had with anyone really.
mm-mm. Lee is just pretty and existing. That's the vibe I'm getting from her.
Yeah,
Mm.
she's
But
beautiful.
the whole children conversation, I was like, he's just telling her all she wants to hear.
Hmm.
Right.
I feel like that too, especially with him being young. You have no children. At some
Like,
point, you
oh,
possibly are
I
going to
have
want
thought of
children.
the adoption, please.
Right. Like you're already open. I mean, I don't really feel like you've lived your life enough to really be like, you're willing to at this point be like, hey, I don't even care about having my own children. I'll just go straight to
That's why I
adoption if
felt
that's
like
what
that
it
was
is.
fake.
Right.
Like,
That sentence was really fake to me. Because
yeah.
yes, I do agree with Ray that the only reason why she's bothered about her age is because she's 41, is 34. She is racing against menopause. She's racing
Hmm.
to get married. She's racing to have a family. While he still has time before andropause sets in. So it's like,
Right.
okay, I can still like do some things in my life while she menopause is already knocking at the door. Age
Hmm.
55 is coming. So I'm like, their priorities are not the same. Yes,
Correct.
the possibility of him marrying her is there, but I don't think he really did understand the conversation about the age well. But anyway, good for her.
Yeah. I feel like that's exactly what it is. It's a race against time for her. So she's
Right.
like, she has to come out basically with the this is what it is. But I don't feel like Quentin is the one that's going to give that to her. And honestly, I don't feel like Herbert is either. Like, I don't really feel like Herbert is ready to settle down. He might be
No.
ready for love, but I don't know if he's at the point of that settle down moment right now, have kids, get married right now, because you're talking about the end of the year and within the next year, all that. Like, yeah,
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah.
And
And
yeah,
he
Lee
even
is
said it,
actually the
like,
most pretty to me. I don't know what I'm going to say. Lee is the prettiest. She's so like her body is just like, oh my god. I love
yeah.
muscular women. Maybe that's just me, but anyway.
I love, honestly, I'm not even going to say, like, well, I'm not gonna say she's the prettiest or she's not, but I think she's absolutely beautiful. I love
I agree.
her skin tone, like that
Yes.
chopsiness, girl. Ugh,
Oh,
and her body.
mm.
Yeah, listen here. Now her body is banging. Okay, Janelle got a nice body too.
When
I'm
she
thick, so
wore
I
that
love. I
dress to the
represent the thick
ladies'
ones. Okay.
lounge, I was like, damn girl, calm
Hmm.
down.
Yeah, Lee is something
But
special
yes,
for sure.
I also don't plan on having any kids till like I'm in my 30s. So I feel like kids
Mhm.
weigh you down, they hinder you career wise. Imagine me hustling both my patients and no, no, I don't think I'm going to do that. I don't
Not
know.
your
Yeah,
patient.
just look, take your
I
time.
don't
Take your
know how
time.
to multi-purpose. I'm sorry, it's just not for me. But
Yeah.
it's very obvious. Like I've been singing this song since like episode 2 or so. He's not even
Right.
interested in Kira. He saw Kira like a clown that was dancing around him, and he had to entertain her.
Hmm.
Hmm.
That's how she came off across to him because she was acting so childish. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that was. I mean, even when they try to do that TikTok thing, I'm just like, okay, just
I
say
was
that.
cringing.
I mean, I mean,
Right.
honestly,
Like,
honestly, if I was a co-executive producer or I was an associate producer, and they said, so Braylon, Keyra and Herbert, what do we do? Okay, first of all, I want y'all to go into this knowing that this is not a real connection, and we need to fill in this 40 minutes without commercials, 60 minutes with. So just take them having fun, but don't take it too seriously. Like that's the way I would have approached this. And it looks like that's the way they approached this, just to fill time. Because I didn't feel nothing from this.
no, like,
May, why are you? Nah, the
what?
amount of dragons that Kira is experiencing at this point. Because honestly, when they first released the whole teaser for this episode, I was like, oh my God, Janelle and Jessica, they're really coming at her. But when the full scene played, I was like, so
Yeah,
Kira
my
has been.
whole girl, no. You try to call that fun, but when you get called out, you
She
got a
nearly
problem.
activated those white tears. She was
Yeah.
so close.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, to tell you the truth, and we only know these people, like I said, 60 minutes with commercials, 40 minutes without. But I felt that in the ladies' lounge, I felt that, Janelle and Jessica really didn't do anything wrong. You know what I mean? She has said that she's the whitest woman there, and that, she came to Quinn by saying that he dates white women. So no, you got called to the carpet and you are trying to use the mean girl tactic to throw people off, your game, but you got called out. It is what it is. They didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, that's what I. At first, it made it seem like, okay, Janelle, Jessica just teaming up. But then when you seen the whole thing, yes, girl, do not try to act like you're feeling some type of way because somebody's coming at you when you came for someone else and what they, their preference or how they are, even though it wasn't true. When you openly admitted to basically your crisis, like I really feel like she's going through an identity crisis. She doesn't know who she is.
Right.
You talk
She
about how all
is.
your friends are
She
white.
has
You're the
she has
whitest
to be
one
the
there.
whitest black girls to be in the cowboy. So it's not it's very and I said this in another panel that over the years she lost herself trying to fit in. And unfortunately she was not emotionally strong enough to overcome those kind of influences. And now here we are. I feel like I'm stuck. I will have to like
Yeah.
refresh.
I was about to say, you look frozen.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think you're frozen.
I'll be back.
Okay.
Yeah. But when it comes to the whole Kira situation and, you know, Janelle and them going back and forth, maybe she's not used to someone calling her out
Yep.
in the way she is, or even or with her going through this identity crisis, her being
Right.
questioned on her blackness, she gets that a lot and she really has no answer for it. And it seems like instead of her
Absolutely.
trying to embrace it, you're steady trying to work and go towards the other side even more.
Yeah.
And you're struggling with it because I can tell you right now, you're not accepted by the white people because you're black. But you're
Right.
not accepted by the black people either because you want to be white.
Exactly.
So you're going through a crisis right now. And it's just like with black men who feel like black women don't look at them and, don't give them a time of day. So then they start dating, other races. Same thing I could see with her. Like, I feel like right now she's feeling like she's the youngest. She's the most beautiful.
Mhm.
She, you know, her accomplishments are up there. So she should be
Right.
getting all the attention. And she's not.
I mean, the way the and Stacy, give your disagreement because, like I said, this is an open panel, so feel free. Um,
Right.
I will say this. I think what's happening is, and it's just like when I try to call out, people, for media opportunities, right? It's one thing if somebody recommends me. I'm gonna do just enough to be grateful, which is what you're supposed to do, but I'm gonna
Mhm.
do just enough to stay in the door. What she is doing is she is giving herself as a recommendation letter to bypass all the qualifications and requirements, and she thinks she's supposed to get the job. When
Mm-hmm.
no, you got put in a resume, you got put in a cover letter, and you have to go through many interviews in order to get the job. So she's trying to control the job process. And so when her background check came back of her facts on her background check, culturally, she got checked. That's what it is.
Yeah. Period. Like, but don't question someone else's and expect for yours not to be questioned or in question when you've openly stated that
Exactly.
that's basically how you identify.
Yep.
No one else put that on you. You said this
I
out of
agree.
your own mouth that you're more of the white girl there.
Yep.
Who says that? And why is that even an accomplishment? Just like Janelle said, that's not an accomplishment. What do you win for that?
Right.
What is the prize? Because guess what? Don't nobody else see you like that. The white people
Exactly
don't see
right.
you like that, honey. They still see you black, see that you're black.
Yep.
But
Exactly right.
hopefully, like, I just hope that they get it together. Like,
Exactly.
if that is the issue that transpired to make it where Janelle and Kira and everybody else, started getting into it, and that was the whole problem, then I can kind of understand some of it.
Yeah.
I don't understand the whole Janelle and Katarina getting into it and her popping up like over what a meetup or speaking that I don't understand.
Right.
But yeah, don't challenge someone else, their cultural and don't don't question someone else if you don't want to be questioned. Basically, like
Mm-hmm.
not
But
even gonna get into all that. Like
the thing is that both Kira, Janelle, and Jessica were both right. Like they were all right. Their thoughts about each other were right.
Mm-hmm.
Because Janelle comes off as a mean girl. Why would you go so hard defending that guy?
yeah,
Why? And Kira, why are you so offended if someone says, do you like black culture? I would like, let me tell you from the African perspective. So
Sure.
when someone says, because we have different cultures, as I've said several times, from the Igbo culture. So when people ask me, oh, do you like my culture? I'm like, not necessarily. There's some parts of it that I have to side eye that they make no sense. So naturally, people ask that question over it because some people feel like the black culture is too ghetto. Some people feel like my culture is too like it hinders people basically. So I don't think that should have been a bad question if you've never felt negatively towards the black community. So that's one thing she needs to think about in retrospect. That why did I feel so negatively about such a simple question? And what really killed me before we go into the comments was the write up that she did basically. This actually killed me. Explaining why she said she had a black family. So she was like, I want to take the
yeah,
time to elaborate on statements heard from me on last week's episode concerning Black culture and my Black identity. I would first like to say that I'm a proud Black woman and I love my people and our community. And as stated in the episode, I come from a Black family who has shaped me into a woman that I am. All that I meant is that I am not an activist, but I am fully in tune with who I am and where I come from. This is where she's still saying nonsense. What does you being an activist have to do with you liking your culture? I'm not my tribe. I'm not an activist within my tribe. I'm not an activist within my culture.
Correct.
Doesn't mean if they say all the Igbo people raise your hand, I'll be like, no, I'm not one. Or when
Right.
someone asks me, are you part of the Igbo community? I'll be like, no. So the fact is that subconsciously she's still writing nonsense because she relates being black with something negative.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, from that statement, from what it sounded like, is that she is trying to. It's that question of, are you saying it for you, or are you saying it for my mental health? So which one of us know? You know what I mean?
Right.
And I feel that even she acknowledged the fact that people understand people's questioning about Quentin, but yet you're still excusing the behavior. And I
She
think
went
Right.
that's the
back to an interview and she retracted that statement. So
right.
she just said all these for people on Instagram, and then she went on an interview with Crystal, and she was like, "Oh, I didn't feel like that was offensive." The part that killed me in this whole write-up was this side where she said, "Finally, I want to thank those who know me personally for reaching out, discussing this with me, and providing me with different perspectives. I'm only woman. I'm being captured and filmed and having my words edited." But you
I'm
just
so
accepted
sick.
that you said those things. So how was it edited?
That's what I said. I'm so sick of them using the editing excuse.
No,
You everything's edited. You're only seeing this much of it, and everything else is being edited out. Yeah, I understand that editing happens. It does. But if you're giving them so much of the
hmm
same material,
exactly.
then they're only going to edit what you give them. If you give them a certain kind of material, then that's all they have. It's on you to
hmm
feed the camera. You're the one in front of it.
Yeah, in the words of Karen Huger, I'm only judging what you give me. Now, see, if there would have been a Ready to Love after show where, the host could have said, all right, y'all, so Kira keeps saying that we edited this clip. Roll it, and it rolls exactly as you said it. Then what would you have said with that after show? I mean, really. Or you know what? It could happen on the reunion. Tommy could bring that up and be like, all right, so one of the big points, everybody, is Kira and her black culture, or if she's not black. So there was a clip talked about that, we edited. Roll it. Now, they rolled out the reunion, and that clip is exactly what it is. What are you going to say then? Really? So, like,
You've already said the same thing in your when you went on IG and posted, like, girl, what you said is the same thing. You did not make it sound any better. Because clearly, I'm gonna tell you, it made it sound like you knew even less than what we had thought.
People had to reach out and teach you for
Like
you
they
to.
had to teach you about what,
exactly.
girl. I don't know if you know this, but how old is she? Like 26, 27, something like that?
Somewhere around there.
You've been black for 27 years, babes. I don't know if you know it or not, but you have. So for somebody to have to teach you, like, listen, I grew up in the country. I grew up in Indiana. So I've been around all cultures. You know what I'm saying? I have a mixed race family. That's just how it is.
Right?
But I still know where I come from. I still know
Exactly.
my culture, like, regardless.
Yeah.
I didn't have to get taught that in my older years. I was today
Yeah.
years old when I found out about my culture. What?
Yeah.
Like,
And and not
no.
and not to mention too, this is the thing that I really am not liking. She is taking this on as if the culture made it up about her. I'm telling you, if Quentin were to have said what he said, that you only date white men,
Hmm.
everybody would have been dragging him through the mud.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
how dare you come across that way to a black woman? So, like, quit playing the victim and just take responsibility. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, just, oh, child.
And that is so true. Like I honestly I do agree with that. I feel like if he would have came at her like, hey, well, I feel like you only date white men because you said, like, you come out and stated that you are the whitest person there.
Right.
Like,
She
where?
thinks like a
Why?
white woman.
Yeah, you're like a white woman. All your friends are white. Like, you know what I'm saying? You even when it came to you questioning Quentin, you said you know what it looks like when a black man likes white women because most of your friends are white. So that
Yeah,
says a lot about you.
exactly right.
And
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure, like, her parents are probably like, girl, what the hell?
Hmm.
Like, your ass went to Texas, became a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader or whatever. And next thing you know, you went from Bonquisha to Keyra.
Not Bonquisha. You know what? Maybe she just wanted to be drafted and just run down the field, or have somebody run down her field and just win her Super Bowl. Maybe that's what it was. She wanted to be drafted.
She
Maybe, I
feels like
don't know.
she should be chosen. Like she feels like because of the way that she acts, and she does have that Valley Girl, personality, and
Right,
she is attractive. She's a young titty bopper. Um, but she feels like she should automatically be chosen. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right,
who's
I
going to
don't
it?
think she's. If I was a guy, I don't think I would be attracted to date Kira. No offense.
no,
As a good jovial friend, most likely, because I would be annoyed. She talks without thinking, and it can
mhm,
easily offend people. So I don't think she's a good dating candidate, except if she works on herself. Now, to
right,
answer actually Aubrey question, I've always been against the doing an interview before the reunion airs. And when I watched that interview, I was like, oh,
Oh,
she
young
really
titty
should have
bopper.
should have just said no. I don't want to do this because she came off worse to me. She was just saying she was really backtracking. It was really irritating me
right,
because I thought like you cannot come on here writing the thesis about how you did this, why I called my black family, why I asked someone for whether they like a white man, and why I feel like asking for that preference is not a problem because I've been asked that. Girl, the only
right,
reason why you've been asked that because you most likely only look at white men.
right.
So she went to that interview and then she started saying the same thing again. And I'm like, wow. So
Because
why
she
did you
has
apologize?
no backing. Like, girl, did you not get, like, was you not expecting to at least be questioned about that?
Right.
You are on a show with other
Honestly, I would
black
advise you
people
not to
looking
watch it. You'll be
for,
irritated.
black love, but yet you're coming off talking about you're a white woman. Is that why you feel like you should be picked because you're a white woman that, likes black men? I don't know.
Exactly.
Like, I'm just, and I really just cannot get over the fact that people had to tell you,
Yeah.
2023 people had to tell you.
And this is why I feel like she should have gone instead of Unique.
Listen,
No,
I've been told the Kira should have went.
Lord
I
Jesus,
was,
stay tuned.
I was out here.
So a couple of comments here that I'm seeing from the chat. Linda Evans said Jessica stays fine for the men that she likes. I like that. Also, Linda Evans said calling Janelle a mean girl was so unnecessary. For once, I saw what Janelle absolutely makes no sense. She knew she was called out. Kira isn't the type of lady that you would take to go and corral. If you tried to get her to help you sneak food, I would back. She would look at you like you crazy. Jessica would be
Exactly.
down though.
Exactly.
Listen.
Exactly. Listen, if you know, you know.
I'm not gonna lie, those rolls will get you full before you get up out your seat. I'm not even gonna front with you. Not even gonna front with you. Okay.
Listen, I always got to eat my salad first, and then I get
Listen,
everything else.
listen.
Have to. I try to feel like I'm doing something healthy if I eat the salad first.
Oh, I miss my salad or something.
Lord
I'm just
Jesus.
lucky that I really do not add weight easily. If not for God, we do not know where we will be.
This is, yeah. I just feel like that whole,
Stay tuned. I can't with you. Okay.
listen,
Okay. Okay.
listen, I like my fried chicken on the side, okay? I like it separately.
Oh Lord. Oh
Ooh, and I
Lord.
love it when they got them. Oh my god, when the catfish is fresh, though, they got them catfish nuggets.
Hmm.
Please.
Listen,
But you know what?
y'all
I
better stop.
think.
I will go to Golden Corral.
Listen, for real, it's been a long time for me. But no, I feel like at the end of the day, that is, if somebody brings something to you to make you better, these are the three questions I always ask myself when a person's coming to me about me. Who are you? How long you been in my life? What's the consistency of your energy? If I can answer three questions on yes and all those, take the meat, spell out the bones, right?
Yeah.
But if you are a person that, we're in this experience, I've known you or I feel something out and you try to come through with good intentions, then that is my right to be able to say that. Because here's the thing, right? I like what I like, but also I know I can be overzealous with what I like. And if I was on the show, that can alienate other people that don't have it.
Hmm.
And so, even though I know the thick ones will be in the ladies' lounge midnight, now you wait one doggone minute. Braylon talks to everybody. He makes sure, hey, text when you get home. He listens to everybody's problems. Listen, he is nephew junior. Okay, listen, we're gonna protect him. But also, if there was you know, a skinny woman that did have it in the room saying, well, I get that he calls all of us. I get that he cares about all of us, but he also needs to respect the fact that we are human too. I would agree with that.
Why do I
I
feel
would
like
agree with that. The point is you can feel the way you feel, but that doesn't mean other people don't have emotions in the room. That's what I'm trying to
that?
say.
Right. That's true. But
Yeah,
still,
working.
I hope next
We,
week they let go of two women too, and Kira, I hope she's
yeah,
one of them.
Kira and Sierra, they can as well go date their white women, men, whichever one they
Huh?
want to do.
Listen here, because I'm telling you, Kira is one sugar daddy away from having everything she wants. I'm telling you, like
Honestly,
that's the vibe she gives me. Not
and
like
they will treat her well.
like
Well, can I ask this? Because this is my
nothing
first
wrong with
time.
it.
Let me ask this because this is my first time watching the show. I know Tommy throws in curveballs. Has he ever thrown a curveball where he's like, okay, ladies, two of y'all are going home, but
Yeah.
this time y'all are choosing who's going home out of the ladies? Like, has he ever done that to the ladies or has he ever done that to the
Nah,
men
that
where
would
the
be
men.
crazy. That
Yeah,
every season or recent season, the relationship between the women, that's nothing good.
Okay.
because
Because
women want y'all
because
to
I
be
just
too
want.
catty. Like y'all, you're going after the same man. So I mean, if you just be yourself and let the man choose, that's what it is.
Right. And I just wonder that because I feel like, and thank you, V. I appreciate that, Queen. No, I just feel like that would be a real curveball. It's like, you know what? Y'all keep saying y'all know who's for who. Damn it, ladies, y'all choosing who's out this week. Let's see if
Nah,
y'all
but
can
then
really come through.
I'll have to take out my competition.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay.
I think
No.
we've covered the entire episode. Does anybody have any last words?
Nope. I cannot wait to see how this goes down next week with them meeting at
Yes.
Action. OMG. Like, I'm ready for that shit right there. Like,
Hmm.
bring that. Yeah. Yeah, I think that might be, if it's good, I might have to rewatch that episode over and over because I'm just waiting to see how it's going to go down. Because the way Phil looked, or no, was it Herbert when Janelle was talking about the getting
Moira.
married and yeah.
I think that was Phil.
Yeah, that X's episode is gonna be something because I even saw Chris just kind of shaking his seat
See,
with
this is
his
the
ex.
thing.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Chris
oh
is
Lord.
a traditional man, and I think I sort of understand because from my tradition, so I'm this is my tradition from my culture, so it's like I understand how they behave that way. So they
Right,
expect their women to cook, clean, do everything, even when you're working. So
Hmm.
over here, we don't do the traditional woman that you stay at home. No, you will work and you do everything at home. So it's like crazy, right? So I do understand that. And most likely his parents did not break that kind of actions from him. So every woman he dates.
right.
That's why I feel if you are traditional, most likely just go back and date a traditional woman. Do not carry a modern woman and then expect her to wait for you, cook for you, wash your clothes, do everything.
Right.
Nobody has that kind of time.
Mm-hmm.
No, I agree. And then that tarot card meeting. Oh Lord, that's gonna be. In my house, we serve the Lord. I don't like anything pink. I'm like, oh Lord
Mara is
Listen,
definitely
Jesus.
going home.
Maya. I don't
He's
know what
going home the
Maya is doing,
following
but
week.
honey,
He's definitely going home the following week.
right. You was in the bottom and you was homeboy. You are definitely about to be homegoing boy. Like you
Woo.
gone. You about to be going home boy because no honey. That's damn near like taking them somewhere where there's a Ouija board. Like, sir.
I mean, honestly, the way I would have done that date was well. First of all, this is
I
what the
mean, some
discovery.
people are into it. Some people are into it, but
Sure.
yeah, no, I no.
I mean,
Some
I mean,
things I draw the line.
No, for sure. And honestly, this is what the discovery process is about. So if I knew they were both Christian and we were coming to that point, I would be like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna just throw up some titles. I got the victory. What victories have y'all had in y'all life? Brighter day from Kurt Franklin. What has been a brighter day? Never would have made it. What have y'all went through that you thought you never would have made it through? Like, just make it work for you. You know what I mean? Play with it that way. Just, Lord Jesus, that's gonna be interesting.
Janelle has the nerves. She didn't have all that religion when she was cussing out people.
Well, look, she said he ain't through with it yet. She's still a work in
She
progress.
did say that. She did say that. She even said, I'm so sorry to all y'all who follow me. Y'all
Yeah.
forgive me.
She said she still fight now. She fights, okay? She's with the shits.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to next week's episode. I
Yeah,
really
next week
want to
is gonna
see
go
what
down.
happens.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
So
Actually, Aubrey, my bad for asking the question. Okay. I was just June because this is my first time watching the show, so I didn't know if they did that. Stay Tuned Review said Bride Day overcoming a Charlie horse that this occurred entanglement. Lord Jesus. I can't.
that was
I can't.
crazy.
Y'all have been acting a fool in the chat today.
Okay.
Not acting a
Yes.
fool, acting a
Okay. Oh
fool.
my god. Yeah. Okay. Y'all are wild. So we are going to get out of here. I
Yes,
think that's it
indeed.
for today.
Yeah.
Lord help. No, as always, love you, Lays. Of course, Q. Devin was good to see
I
him.
love
All
you
of you
too.
in the all y'all in the chat. Listen, have fun today. Stay safe, but most of all, please just love yourself because if the world ain't gonna love you, you might as well. And by the way, we are looking forward to Mocha being on Ready to Love Family Affair Edition. Right after the BDSM edition. So it's going to be interesting how the family members are going to be up for singledom on Ready to Love. That should be a very fun season. Just going to say that right there.
Yeah, it's
Thank you
definitely gonna happen. Thank you,
commenter.
V. Thank you, Ray.
Much
You
Thank you,
guys
love.
stay
Aubrey.
tuned.
Thank you,
Much love.
Mocha.
Thank you, Mocha. Thanks everybody in the chat. Thanks to all the panel, everyone on the panel. We love y'all. Stay blessed, and we will see y'all
Big
next time.
Lord Jesus V. Bye, y'all.